Alexa, stop.
And that's how we start the show.
Yeah, exactly.
What is going on with Amazon's assistant?
What do you mean?
Like, I mean, I just don't know what's going on. I haven't heard any news recently about it.
It seems like it's getting smarter, which is scary. Hold on a second. They're not doing any like major AI announcements or anything like that I'm aware of, that I've been made aware of. So, Reaper, I forgot that I should back up or have a backup recording, especially with this monstrosity that I have put together. New project, tab, boom. I think it is working. I'm just not sure.
You're doubled at the moment.
What?
You're doubled.
Oh. Now I'm not, correct?
Yep. You stopped monitoring your Reaper.
Yeah. How'd you know? Did you hear VoiceOver?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Just Reaper.
So then my recording is working, because I bet if I hit this and then I go like this and then I go like this, you hear two of me. It looks like my backup recording is not working. Yep.
See, I can hear you playing Reaper through, but I don't hear VoiceOver.
Yeah. That's
what I thought. Good setup.
It is, but why don't I hear VoiceOver? And that's off to. Whoa, that was bad. Don't hit that button. If I hit this button, you'll hear yourself.
So you're not hearing VoiceOver?
No. Nope, I'm not hearing VoiceOver. Well, I'm hearing VoiceOver, I should say. I'm not hearing Reaper playback.
Oh.
But I know why, because I don't. So let me give you a brief rundown. First of all, have I been peaky for you? Because I've been a little peaky in my headphone, or am I too quiet for you at all? Or where am I for you?
You're good now. You kind of were a little peaky very early, but
okay,
it seems to have mostly settled down. So we should be good.
Can you still hear me fine?
Yep.
Okay. So my monstrosity setup is I have this Mackie ProFX12 ProFX V3 to my left. And I have the Shure Beta 87A running into channel 1, because for some reason I always got to plug something into channel 1. Channel 2 has a 1/4 inch male to 1/4 inch male to XLR cable plugged into the left back of the Vocaster Two. Okay. And then channels 3, 4 have dual male 1/4 inch plugs plugged in, one on 3, one on 4. And on the other end is an 1/8 inch male that's plugged into the Echo Dot 3rd generation that I have. So that's why you were able to hear the music earlier.
Okay.
On channel 1, I have the main button pressed, which is where I'm hearing myself. Did you just hear something weird? Like when I do this, does it sound different to you?
Nope.
Okay. I didn't think so. It sounds different to my headphones, but I'll tell you why. So, channel 1 has the main output selected. Channel 2 has the, what is this called? Aux output. It's groups 1, 2, pretty much. It's an alternative output. And then channels 3 and 4 right now don't have anything pressed. But when you came in, they had the top button, which is the master or main out, plugged in. So I have a 1/4 inch cable going from the main out left to the host on the Vocaster.
Okay.
So then I can bring audio into my computer, and then if I wanted to, I can plug another cable into this groups out one. I keep forgetting the name of it, but the auxiliary output, and then that cable is going to go from that auxiliary output jack into the overhead speakers. Then the channel 2 is where Zoom's going to come in on, because that's everything right now. It's the Vocaster everything. I'm going to pull VoiceOver out of that mix and send it to one of the other channels, so that way that doesn't come overhead. So then I'll press the submix and the master on the microphone channels. So whichever ones has the microphones, the wireless microphones, both of those will get pressed. So audio goes to both places. And then on the Zoom channel, or the Vocaster channel pretty much, I'm just going to push the submix button so that that goes overhead, but not back into Zoom. And somehow I'm going to capture a recording of all of this locally too. Got to figure that out too. But I'm getting set up for this weekend local here at my house where I'm comfortable, so then I can just take the setup and just run with it this weekend.
Yeah. So if you map your channels to tracks in Reaper, will it capture what's on that channel regardless of it being to master or going to main or submix?
No, because this works, and there's something I need to play with on here too. There is a USB return, but it's only a stereo return for, I believe it will capture the main output. So I may have to swap that around. And then if I do that, then I can capture the recording over USB. But I was also going to use the H1 Essentials and send a feed of everything through one of the outputs on the H1 Essentials. It might be the right side of the main, for example, and then mix that down to mono when we get done. If I have to. I might not have to, but we'll see.
That's a good way to do it too, though. Yeah. And a good use of the H1 in that instance.
So that's my setup. We will let you all know how it goes next weekend. Well, I will share what happens next weekend, because it's my hope that this is the best one out of, this will be the 1, 2, 3, third one that I've done. So third time's a charm, right?
Yeah, man.
2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is the third actual convention I've done for Oregon by myself. So, yep.
Doesn't seem like it's been that long, does it?
No, it doesn't. Then I just got off of a committee meeting, starting to hand some things off so I don't have to be involved in everything.
That's a good place to be in, though, because it frees you up to do, what you need to really do.
Yeah. But then you got to figure out what is it that you want to do, because what you need to do and what you want to do can be two totally different things. And I don't know, I kind of struggle with the what do you want to do thing at times.
Yeah.
But that's part of being an adult, I guess. Do you know why on Mallory's iPad and on my iPhone, apps are outlined in black, but on her iPhone, they are not? I said maybe it's an accessibility setting that one of us changed.
That could be.
Ooh, that's where.
Okay, so it's her iPad, your phone, right?
Yep.
Okay. Assuming, is everything on 18?
Yes.
Accessibility could be a thing. It could also be the results of some of the visual stuff you can do with the home screen. Like there's some like different tints. Like I guess one question to ask would be if the icons colors look the same and they just have a border around them, or has the icon for specific apps changed at all?
I'll have to ask her for some more information. Oh, and I don't know if my audio was delayed for you, but it might have been, or choppy for a minute. I have a habit on this computer right now of getting into Windows and getting shit done and then forgetting that I'm in Windows, but I should be in Mac OS. And so things start to get a little choppy. And yeah, that's been real. So what did we talk about earlier this week that we said, oh, we should talk about that on the show?
Man, you already know the answer. I should have wrote it down.
I don't think we put anything in the Google Doc. I did not.
Let me see, though. There might be some in there anyway. If anybody else has ideas as to why the icons may look the way they look, though, they can send an email to feedback@technicallyworking.show.
And we'll get that email.
We will get that email. No, There we go. Trying to get back to Riverside screen. Have you looked at, did Riverside have an app or offer an app on Windows?
I don't believe they offer one on Windows. They do on iOS.
It looks like they have one on Mac, but maybe it's just an iOS app running on Apple Silicon. Let's see.
I will say it's nice to not worry about saving. I didn't have to worry about hitting record. And once you jumped in, it started recording automatically. When you leave, it should give me the audio files probably tomorrow morning, which means they'll get edited up tomorrow morning and then published to technically working podcast feed. And then, it's a pretty straightforward process. I do still use the clips from it, so it'll give me some clips of the show when it thinks that we need to, when we should share those clips on social media. You hear clicking, don't you?
I did hear just a bit of crackle.
Yeah,
but it was just a bit.
There it is.
But I was also looking at the Riverside desktop app. I'm not sure if I want to download this. I was going to, but I'm not sure I want to do it. I did upgrade to Mac OS 15.
Sequoia?
Yeah, that's it.
Couldn't remember the name.
Nope. I remember the number though, 15. Actually, I'm on 15.0.1.
Ooh.
Because I just updated last night. Didn't do it today. I did it yesterday.
What caused you to pull the trigger? Just cause?
Yeah, just cause. I mean, my Mac Mini's still on Sonoma. It's going to stay there. So it might be there till next WWDC.
So you discovered something yesterday. Do you want to share it with people?
I discovered something
about
yesterday.
About Zoom and its channels?
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Because I should go look at it to describe it right. I did discover a thing a few days ago, though, that I told you about, which is follow up to my my internet speed.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
That's something that should have went in the Google Doc.
So last week I was mentioning that, the Spectrum service seemed solid and I wouldn't have any issues, for the few days that I had it. But my speed tests were coming back very low. Turns out I had configured my router in such a way that I told it where it had a speed test, the number from prior speed tests with, I don't know, Xfinity when I had their service here. And, the router was actually capping at that speed. So there was no way to go past that until I went and either erased those numbers, or what I actually did was discovered I could run a speed test from inside the Unify app, and it would pre-populate those numbers based off running, like 2 or 3, upload and download tests and ping tests and all of that, and then kind of match those numbers up for you, or at least give you an idea of what your speeds are looking like. So once I did that, I'm seeing like, gigabit downloads, and what was I getting up? Hold on. I can run a speed test here.
And for those who are curious, Damashe uses the speed test CLI.
Yeah, I do know that's what I was doing. Because that's exactly what I was doing. Oh man, it is asking me every time, do I want to allow Zoom apps to discover apps on the network? Like, how many things been looking at my network devices prior to this? Like, literally every app I opened up Chrome and went to Riverside. Oh, Google Chrome wants to discover apps on your network. Why? I don't know. That's all it said. So I said no.
Google's like, you just want to give it to us.
Zoom just asked for it.
Don't ask any questions.
So Zoom just asked for it And I said no. And then Camo asked for it earlier too, right after Chrome. And I did let Camo look, but that's because I tend to use my phone wireless when I do use Camo for a camera. Oh man, what did it do? Oh man, I shouldn't have updated is what I shouldn't have done. What is it doing to my terminal? All right. Anyway, I will follow up on the upload speeds in a second. It's not symmetrical. That's what I do miss about fiber, is being able to get those symmetrical speeds so you get a gig down, a gig up. Or close enough that it really don't matter. I mean, 942 up with AT&T was awesome.
Right.
Rarely had
everything was where it needed to be quickly.
Yep. But the other thing I discovered recently was during a Zoom meeting yesterday. You're right, it was yesterday. That's what threw me off. It feels like 2 days later already. But in Zoom, at least on the Mac, and I would like to get verification about Windows, but in the audio settings, you're able to check a box that will allow you to select the channel of the device or the channels of the device that you have plugged in as an audio device. So if Mike was to hook his mixer up, well, you said it doesn't pass the...
it doesn't pass all the channels through. It only gives you 2 channels.
But you could do that with the Vocaster though, because it does display all of its channels. So you could select channel 5 for the host mic, or 6 for the guest mic, or I think it's 9 and 10 for the Bluetooth left and right. What else? 7 and 8, I believe, is the auxiliary cable.
Why does that have stereo? Do you know?
The mixer?
No, the auxiliary cable, because there's only one place to plug in.
I don't know. It could be something else. It might be a loopback channel. I think they expose those in channels too, though. So I don't remember all of them. I always have to go look at that matrix.
Gotcha. Yeah. And I know, 5 is the one that I need right now.
Yeah. And 6 is your guess. So that's the second XLR. So you got those 2, you good. Pretty sure 9 and 10 is the Bluetooth.
I think you're correct.
Just in case.
In Reaper, you can choose Control 1 to go on the Mac to go to the sub menu, and then go down to input stereo. And then once you're in input stereo, you can choose Bluetooth LR. What was that hum?
Reaper makes it nice. The hum was, what if you run, because you're not using right now in the current setup the aux on the Vocaster, are you?
No.
All right. Do you have like maybe a second submix that you could run out to the auxiliary?
Yes.
Okay. Then you record that track on Reaper.
The potential problem with that is if it goes, well, I guess that wouldn't be a problem. I was going to say audio going into the Vocaster would then come out, because that's how I'm getting how I'm getting Zoom out of the computer. Yeah. But I could run an 1/8 inch from the headphone jack on the computer into the board, and then run VoiceOver through the Vocaster. So there are some solutions out there. I'll be sure to come back and let you know what I end up doing, but that's the goal, is to get the record. Because I got asked, we have a member who is older and he's not going to be able to join us, but he'd love to be able to listen to the convention. So I got asked, can we put it on CD? And I said, I can record it and get you an audio file, but I cannot put it on CD for you. So I'll get you the audio, you get it on CD.
Yeah.
Mallory asked if they still made super drives. I'm like, I'm sure they do, but I'm not getting one. I don't want one.
I mean, you can still buy it. I mean, you can buy CD and DVD burners. I keep looking at them, but I have not bought one in the past 7 years or more. Like, I really want one, but I hadn't bought one. I did buy one, but it was to rip, mostly for me to be able to have a way to look at the CDs, because I bought the pictures for the kids from the school, and I just bought the digital version because it's a little cheaper and you get more of the different frames or prints or whatever they're trying to sell you. So I did buy one to be able to read those CDs, but it really was like a cheap $20-something thing on Amazon it would let me play a CD and probably rip an actual CD. Wouldn't let me do anything else. Like wouldn't let me burn or anything like that. But that was just to get the pictures off. I keep looking at these DVD burners and rippers, and it's like,
The why becomes a very important question at some point.
Yeah.
That's the only problem I have is I would never use it for anything else but this. Maybe once a year, maybe. And at that point, I have to make a decision. And my decision is I will get you the audio. And I believe she said she has that's not how you spell documents. You don't spell documents D-U-C. She has a CD burner, so we'll get her the audio file. She'll get it burned, and then this member will get help. So, man, going back to the Mac it's good, but I don't know how to explain it. It's so
weird.
Yeah.
Are you on you on Sonoma or you on Sequoia?
Sequoia.
So I gotta tell you, like, it kind of for some reason doesn't quite feel right to me either, but that's only been since I upgraded. Stuff is kind of out of order. Close that. Audio device settings. Use specific audio input channels. And then you're able to select your channels for Zoom, which will let you keep VoiceOver out of Zoom calls if you're using a Vocaster. That is now a new and probably simpler way to do that for a lot of people. You cut out when we were talking about doing the aux thing with the Vocaster. I'm assuming what you said is that you're sending audio out of the Vocaster. That would also include what was coming in.
Yes.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But it will all work out. One of these days I should actually, not assume that it will all work out and actually plan now. It's already October 13th. How do you think this year's gone for the first 3 quarters of your year? For me, I've gotten a lot less done than I wanted to. I don't have any suggestions or focuses. That's not topics for the year, however you want to word that for next year. I have started thinking about it, though. I've started thinking about what is it that I want next year to be the year of. So this year was the year of purpose. I lost that way towards the beginning. I think I'm starting to get it back because I need to have a purpose for why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. And there for a little while, there was no there was a purpose. The purpose was because I can, I can do this. I can help here. But I think more direction for why the purpose is what it is needs to be had. Because I can volunteer time and energy all day long, and then eventually nothing will get done anywhere. And then everyone's pissed because nothing's getting done. One thing I don't like about this setup is typing is very audible.
Yep, it is, man. It really is. I was waiting on the car to go past and for Tia to get past the hallway, past the door. But I would say this year for me as I don't know how much I've stuck to my theme or whatever. Year connection. Okay,
yes,
do you hear Tia?
Not really, no. No, I do not hear.
Oh, well, she ain't talking now. She was talking.
Of course not.
I think in your case, though, that you have, I haven't done as much as I wanted to get done. But you have definitely you've gotten stuff done, and a lot of what you've gotten done has been, making steps, making progress. I think throughout the year I've had different spells of that where I've not been as productive as I want to be, but I've been consistently making decent moves in it. Sometimes it's like I just don't have the. I know I've slid off of that a little bit. I wouldn't say, and I don't think you did either, like kind of fail at what you set out to do. You have purposefully done things throughout the year, and in some cases, purposefully not done a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the things that have gotten done have been important things. It wasn't just, your typical everyday scratching.
Yeah. This is cool. I can turn the effects up in my headphone for your voice. So you sound like you're on a flanger right now and your voice is bouncing back and forth between left and right channels and you don't hear any of that. And then VoiceOver talks and it's flangering too. And I'm like, wait, that's not right.
All right. You peaked a little bit right there too.
Okay. I will slide the slider down a little bit. I don't know if that made a difference for my volume for you at all, but
it didn't.
It did?
It did not.
Oh, that's good to know. Okay.
I'm guessing the way to affect your volume for me would probably be to adjust
the gain
mix.
Down.
Well, I was gonna say adjust the mix that I'm getting.
Oh yeah, that would do it too. I bet if I walk over here and then I pull this down, did that turn me down a little bit for you, or can you tell?
Nope.
Oh, wait, hold on. That's the right slider. Did that bring me down for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll bring it back up a little bit because I shouldn't mess with it. Shouldn't mess with it too much.
Well, I mean, you gotta know how it works though. So
yeah. I have so many wires all over my desk though. Like I can't work like this for much
That's
longer.
the thing. Yeah, that's the thing that's gonna drive you crazy. But once you get it working, then you kind of can organize the wires.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Like right now, it's a lot of try this. Oh wait, and you got to know the sliders.
Yes.
It's nice to have sliders back though, huh, man?
It is. I need to set this audio up so I can route things to where it needs to be. It's not going to be as perfect as the Soundcraft was, but it's nice to have sliders back.
Man, they're really selling this. What is this? Riverside desktop app for the Mac. Virtual backgrounds. The host can control things. I don't know.
So they want you to download it, huh?
I was looking at the page for it to see if I was going to download it, but.
So have you been using ChatGPT at all?
Not as much this past couple of weeks, really. I haven't been doing much. I've been hearing what, some other people are doing, but I haven't really been using it myself recently.
Yeah, I've been using it. A lot of it's being used mainly for like, here's my transcript, help me create show notes. Just the stuff that needs to happen that I don't want to do.
I thought I had found a way to install Windows on a Apple Silicon Mac, like the way that you used to be able to do it on Intel. Like you just wipe out the whole Mac OS and just install Windows and just turn it into a window Mac,
an ARM-based window Mac.
Yeah, but it was a Reddit post and they were just talking about ways not to do it without using parallels. I mean, the VMware Fusion was the suggestion.
In Digital Bytes that is publishing as we record in about 2 minutes after I get this done. You can go listen to Unmute's Digital Bytes, and Chris shows you the send later feature in iOS 18. Marty shows you how to access your notification center, and I show you how to arrange apps on your home screen and put them wherever you want. So my top left app is Mail, top right is Castro, bottom left is Phone, bottom right is Drafts, and about midway up the screen in the middle of it is the Mona app, so I can just tap on that easily, and I show you how you can organize that. So it's fun times that you should be able to listen to by searching Unmute Presents. And yes, Digital Bytes is going to become its own podcast. That seems to have been the most popular show that we've done this last year. So I think it's because it's actionable stuff. Like you can use the information right now.
Yeah. Cool. I'm going to contribute a Digital Byte.
We need to get more contributions for Digital Bytes. Like we need to structure that better. Why does ChatGPT always want to use the word master? Mastering iOS 18, mastering this, mastering that. No one's a master. Like I'm going to say tackling. I'll change that to tackling.
What was your question? Or I mean, like, what did you say?
I told it to generate a show title for this episode based on the transcript. And it said mastering.
So this home screen, you said, what is it? Phone and drafts are at the bottom. That's in your dock?
Yep.
Or is that just the bottom of the home screen?
No, that's in my dock. Mona is in row 4, column 2, I think, is where that is. So it's the 4th row down in the 2nd column of apps. And then I have mail in row 1, column 1, and Castro in row 1, column 4, I think it would be.
Yeah. Okay. You gonna drop a widget somewhere, maybe?
Weather widget is taking up row 4, columns 3 and 4, I think. It's to the right of my Mona app.
Okay. Cool.
That weather widget is nice. And now that you can place apps around widgets, I think it makes widgets a little bit more valuable. The problem is VoiceOver sees them is something different. So when you flick into a widget, sometimes you can't flick out of the widget. So that's fun.
That's a long running bug, I think, though.
Yeah. Yeah. So is pressing 4 and 6 over a password field in Safari while you're using Numpad Commander still exists. Like you can't use 4 and 6 to navigate.
Oh, yeah. I've been using the laptop without a different keyboard. So
yeah,
I hadn't had
it'll just insert 4 and 6 into the password field.
It's still there. Okay.
Yep.
That's nice. Yeah. We should maybe get that one fixed. That messes with people's navigation.
Yeah, it does.
I hate my Mac.
Especially if you don't know what's going on.
Right. That's what I was going to say. I hate my Mac now because all it does is click at me. Click, 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 click. I was trying to read the page. I was trying to read it. Click, 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 click. Okay. So, yeah.
Customizing JAWS with Dictionary Manager was posted on Saturday for Unmute Presents as well, which was pretty cool because I took the call from caller +1 and made it a click. Call from caller +1 is in Zendesk. So now I just hear click and then the person's phone number, click and then the person's phone number. So I don't have to hear that call from caller +1.
Okay. All right. That might get me to install JAWS.
I'm sure you can do something similar with NVDA.
Yeah, probably. But I don't really want to figure it out, though. That's the thing. I really have spent so little time in Windows up until, say, like the past year or so. Whereas over the years, you've always had Windows laptops in the house. Mm-hmm. So you've always kind of messed with it here and there. Sometimes you switch to it and then come back.
Yeah.
It was big news when Michael Babcock switched over to Windows. And now he's back on the Mac running Parallels.
Yeah. Now I'm back on
But
Mac.
the advantage to that when Mike does that, though, is he does really have to deeply learn the screen reader that he's using on Windows, which is usually JAWS, because otherwise he won't be able to get anything done. For me, I got just enough to get by in Windows because it really is more Mac OS. Even though there's a Windows laptop sitting on my desk right now that I still ain't turned on. That's awful. Hey, Mike, you want to buy a laptop? I heard yours just died, man. Hold on.
Oh, you really should use that, though. You just haven't had time.
I mean, I could turn it on. Just the fact it's a Dell.
How does it does it have a nice feel about it? Is it sleek, or
No,
it's like an older Dell that, you know, you think of like in an office environment?
It's not the big. Yeah, I would say so. It's not like big and blocky. I don't know, but I haven't really been looking at Windows laptops. I know it's not as sleek as
Lenovo's.
Yeah, so it doesn't look like JJ's laptop. What does he have? Because you have one of those too. Is that the X Carbon?
Yeah.
Carbon X1, something like that. Yeah, it's. Think a few generations before that became the style. It's kind of blocky, but not huge, if that makes sense. Or think a M1 MacBook Air, not MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, like the 13-inch M1 Pro you had. I mean M1 MacBook Pro. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That style laptop. It's probably about that thick, maybe a little bit thicker, because I think its screen is definitely thicker. So not super huge, but it's not a MacBook Air M2 either. Like that's, you gotta admit, like that really is a nice design for a laptop. The way they have the Airs now.
Yep, it sure is. It really is nice, and it just keeps working. Well, it keeps working if you don't have a Vocaster plugged into it and it's running on battery.
Well, you know, I still hadn't done the test to see what this does with the H6. I should do that.
You're not at your computer that long though at once.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start traveling with the laptop. So as we're on the road, I can be trying to do stuff that needs to get done. Just hotspot as much as I can. If we're around the city, should be okay. And there's plenty of stuff offline. I mean, working in the spreadsheet doesn't require me to be connected to the internet at the moment. I'm working on the spreadsheet just so long as it syncs back when I'm back on internet. So
there you go. I was playing with Microsoft Excel on Mac a couple days ago, and it was a better experience than I thought it was going to be. The only problem is apparently that something's broken with their activation flow. At least in my case, it just sits there and spins when you tell it that you have an account. So I've got to figure out what's going on with that. It does it in both Excel and Word. So if you have feedback on fixing it, I know that was an issue in the past. I just don't remember how I fixed it in the past.
So I know you're doing a lot of some of your recording is happening just kind of individually, but you're using Riverside for other shows that you're hosting on, or is it still Zoom?
We've been doing free clean feed lately. Because usually it's, well, one of the shows we've been doing free clean feed lately. Another show, both the hosts are recording with Zoom H4s, I think. And so they send me those audios, and then we put that together. Those are nice because they come out very clean and they sound fairly good for the most part.
So cleaner. I'm guessing that audio is going to be cleaner than, even Clean Feed or Riverside's audio, just because it's all recorded direct off the mic to an SD card, right?
Yeah, but these two just started sending me their content, so this is the first time that I've used it. What's really nice is I get each of their audio as its own wave track, and then I get a combined mix of their audio, so I can make sure everything lines up perfectly. And from what I've edited, it sounded pretty clean and worked out fairly well. And they were able to record without me having to be there, which is 1,000+ for me, because then I'm not listening to the content twice. Like, I like the content, but I sometimes only want to listen to it once, not while we're recording. So that makes it handy, and then I'm more engaged in it. The negative to that is if I'm there when they record it, I know when there's going to be an edit point coming up versus having to listen to everything too. So, give and take.
Yeah. I've dropped a marker right there just in case you want to cut that out. Well, actually, I dropped a marker earlier too for some reason. I just don't remember why now. And also want to see if it's going to show up to you at all when you went to edit. But it also made sense for me to tell you I dropped a mark, because it may not tell you, or you may not be looking for it. Therefore, you wouldn't see it.
good call. We'll have to see what it does.
Man, it really must be nice to have sliders back there.
It is, but I gotta get levels fixed right, because sliders are nice to have, but like I just turned the gain way down on the window or on the Mac, because then I could slide the slider up a little bit, because you were pretty much at the bottom and I couldn't slide it down, so I couldn't adjust any volumes there because it didn't make any sense to adjust the volumes. So
yeah, but gain is, what's coming in, and then the slider's just hitting your headphones.
yes. Yep.
99% uploading. Riverside. Live Rec.
Yeah, because we're live somewhere. Not sure where we're live, but we're live somewhere. I think just on Riverside streaming, because I don't think we're live on YouTube. If we are live on YouTube, send us an email and let us know, because I don't know if you're watching. I don't think you're watching us on YouTube. I hope not.
But that does tell you just how authentic the show really is by the time Mike gets finished editing. Because I don't know if we're streaming on YouTube either. But we still had the same conversation regardless. And we didn't know the whole time. I didn't even think about it. I just assumed maybe we weren't.
Yeah, I don't think we're streaming to YouTube. I think we are streaming to Riverside's streaming platform, but no one has that link unless you saved it the one time that I shared it on Mastodon. Actual recording is higher quality. Well, that's good. On Tuesday, I will be doing rapid fire QA with Double Tap. So if you're interested in hearing that, tune into Double Tap's Tuesday episode. Fun fact, Steven sent me an email the day after we recorded and said, hey, I got this message from Riverside. And it was a message that you've gotten, or that I've gotten for you, about my audio didn't upload, which is fine. So I went to the little page that it told me to go to, and it said, I'm sorry, we don't have any audio for you. So I'm like, well, that's what you get, Steven. And I did not record locally. The problem is, and we kind of talk about this in the show, we start and, we're 3/4 of the way through the second or third voicemail. And then all of a sudden the people outside decide they want to turn on the chainsaw at 9 o'clock in the morning to chop up the rest of this tree. So I'm like, we come out of the voicemail and I hit my mute button. I'm like, hold up, got a slight problem. Can you guys hear that? And they're like, yeah, we can hear it. I'm like, okay. So I had to undo my entire mess, which luckily the mixer wasn't part of it, move it out to the kitchen, and then reset up the microphone and the Vocaster and the boom arm and everything. And I think that's probably where it lost my content, which it happens. It happens. But you get a cloud recording as well.
That's rough.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Disadvantage to recording in the garage is when they decide to work outside, there's not much filtering. I wonder
if it would almost be worth having just like a USB, like having a USB mic on hand, and just like this stand I got. I should send you one of these because I got two of them. It came with two. This stand though, and a decent, USB mic. Or something small like the, a H4, something like that, and a microphone and this stand, just for those type of situations, or when you're on the road, just to make sure you got just like a basic kit. Like you don't need to break out the whole mixer or even break out the Vocaster, or have to disconnect the Vocaster if you have it set up for something, because you got a backup to use.
Right. Yeah, it could be worth it. Is that a desk stand? Yeah, we talked about these, I think.
Yeah, it's a tabletop stand. Yeah. The next time I got to ship something out your way, I'll send you one. It's not because that'll probably be at some point here soon.
I will be in Seattle on October 24th and 25th at the Doubletree Hilton Airport for the Washington Council of the Blind Convention. Damashe will be somewhere in Texas at some point. Do you know?
I will be in Dallas.
There you go. Okay. Damashe will be in Dallas.
In November.
Yeah. Early November, right?
Yep.
Yeah. For the NFBTX conference. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. Where is ACB National this year? Well, next year. I forget. It's in Texas, but I forget what city. I wonder if you're going to be in Dallas. Yeah, I don't remember where it's going to be. But there's a board meeting in wherever the national is. I think it's the weekend before you're there, because you're not there like the 2nd, are you?
No.
You're there like the 9th, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about right.
So, and then I did a improv test with my local chapter affiliate yesterday for the live event with microphones, and the audio recording came out pretty decently. So that's positive. Had some Zoom login issues, but I've worked my way through that. Hey, people, by the way, if you are making backups, Damashe and I have said this a couple of times, make sure you can restore from your backup or everything works from your backup, because that's important. But also, if you're doing like live environments, like signing into a Zoom account, make sure you either have another device signed into that Zoom account before you leave home, or the email deliverability is working. Otherwise, you can't sign in, because Zoom will be like, hey, you've never used this hotspot IP address before. Are you sure you want to sign in? Let's send you a code. Oh, your email isn't working? We don't care.
Jeez. So wait, what email was it?
It was zoom@acboregon.org. But because we moved the domain so we could get a site back up for convention registration, I never reset up the Zoom email forwarder.
Oh.
It's working now. I've tested it like 3 times now to make sure that it's working. But the point is, test your backups and systems.
Oh, I've got myself stuck in the Riverside settings. I missed the last thing you said.
I said the point is, test your backups and your systems.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, Damashe is messing around in Riverside settings, trying to make sure that VoiceOver cursor never comes back to where it needs to be. I am playing with WPDB. Nope, that is not what I'm playing with. I am playing with updraft backups and backing up manually sites and restoring them to development, like to set up a staging environment for a site. And I started playing with local again, so we'll see where that ends up going.
Oh, the local by Flywheel, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't like it, but I hadn't looked at it at all recently. It was very early. It was before. It was definitely before.
Heard?
No, I mean, yeah, it was way before Heard. Like, it was probably before I even knew about Valet, I want to say. Could have been maybe around that time. No, it was before Delicious Brains was purchased by, who did purchase him? Was that WP Engine or was it Kinsta?
I think it was Kinsta, I think. I don't know. WP Engine's been purchasing a lot of people.
So, a while back, Delicious Brains, which is the WordPress development company that makes WP Migrate DB Pro, as well as Offload SES and Offload Media. Where did Yahoo and FEMA come from? I'm sorry, I got distracted because I heard something about FEMA in North Carolina. I was like, wait a minute, what does this have to do with what I searched for, though? They purchased the plugin Advanced Custom Fields from the original developer, which, wasn't huge. Wasn't a huge issue or anything, or at least didn't seem like it was going to be. But I had forgotten that they owned Advanced Custom Fields when they were purchased by whoever they were purchased by, which I'm thinking is WP Engine. Yeah.
Yeah, because ACF is owned by WP Engine now.
Who also owns Local.
Because
there's integration with Local and WP Migrate DB Pro.
Right.
So
you can just
even if we happen to be wrong about who owns them, those two things are together at whoever owns them.
But yeah, I'm fairly happy with Local so far. I've been playing with it a little bit. You can pick your version of Nginx or Apache, pick your version of PHP, pick MySQL or MariaDB. and then you have a local site installed, and then you can just drop your plugins in the plugins folder in your home directory. Well, your home directory has kind of works like Herd does, has a local folder, and then inside of that is each of the sites that you have. And then it puts like the WP content folder inside of a folder called apps. So yeah, it seems to work to play with things, and it works cross-platform. So if you want, you can connect it to their servers and then have a test site URL people can go to get your local test site.
Cool. Yeah, I kind of slid off of Herd real quick. I think you were still using that before after I stopped using it. I just kind of went back to Valet.
Yeah. Good for playing around to break things, so you don't have to wait for web servers to update and stuff. So, what was the name of that utility you mentioned that will do sending email or management of email locally? Do you remember?
Locally?
Yeah, so you could install it if your website needed to send email, and it would it would look like it sent the email, but it actually didn't. I don't remember. We talked about it on one of the shows. I'll find it.
For working with email locally, so you can test it. Gotcha. Yeah. Mailhog is what I have used.
That was the one I was thinking of, is Mailhog. Yeah. I wanted to call it Mailpig, but I mean, kind of the same thing, but not really.
Whoa, what?
What?
Mail, 13,004, mail, ACF security.
So I hadn't heard about this. And
Advanced toolbar. Advanced custom fields, unread, 6 minutes ago, message, group. Advanced custom fields, unread, in advanced custom fields, unread, 6 minutes ago, headers, group. Hi Damashe, we are reaching out to you promptly and directly to address Matt Mullenweg's unprecedented and appalling actions on October 12th to forcibly appropriate the advanced custom fields. ACF plugin and .org listing. The potential impact of Mr. Mullenweg's improper action is that millions of existing installations of ACF will be updated with code that is unapproved and untrusted by the experts on the ACF team at WP Engine. We want to highlight how you can immediately reduce your exposure and risk now and ensure you are using the genuine ACF. If your website is hosted on WP Engine or Flywheel, or you are an ACF Pro customer, you are not impacted and do not need to take any action. If you have a website that is not managed on WP Engine or Flywheel and are using the free version of ACF, in order to protect our valued users and ensure you have access to updates approved by the ACF team, we recommend you follow the one-time instructions outlined in this installation guide. You can also follow the same process if your site has already been upgraded to the modified secure custom fields plugin to get back to a genuine version of ACF and should not experience any loss of configuration or data while doing so before there is further change to the ACF code. For a more in-depth overview of what has happened with the free ACF plugin and WordPress.org, you can read this post here. The WordPress community has trusted ACF for over a decade, and the expert stewards of ACF will continue to support and enhance the capabilities that our users love and trust. We are dedicated to continuing our efforts in helping you build incredible websites with ACF, the ACF team.
Yeah, that's an interesting scenario that we are seeing happen between those two organizations, and I do not feel informed enough right now to have an educated conversation about it, but I can let listeners know that you and I can research it and see what happens in the next week, and then come back and let them know thoughts about it, unless you have any comments. But there was some news about the accessibility team not having access to certain logins as of today as well. So we'll see what happens. Of course, there's someone who's trying to branch. Well, there is branching WordPress, making a free WP branch. And so it's going to be WordPress without automatics input, I guess. So I don't know. I think it'll blow over, but we'll see.
yeah, I haven't really been plugged in enough. You don't hear VoiceOver anymore, right?
No.
And there was a fork of WordPress when they pushed forward with Gutenberg with version 5 of WordPress. Somebody forked in. I think it's called Classic Press. Is what they call that. I don't know if it's still around.
It is.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
now I do want to say that we hadn't read any articles. I just saw that email, and anybody that is a ACF user would have seen this email. So I'm not sharing anything out of turn, but that's all we know. Like Mike said, at this point, I don't really have any other comments other than I don't really have anything to say because I really don't understand what has happened.
Yeah.
Like all I know is hearsay through filters of other people. So until I do my own research and find out what I can find out, I don't really have anything to say other than I hope it blows over.
Yeah. This is why we can't have nice things.
I guess maybe I should explain at least my interpretation of what that email was saying. So based on the email, it appears that the ACF plugin advanced custom fields plugin WordPress plugin has been taken over by either Matt, I can't say his last name. I'm not going to even try. Matt WordPress or Automatic or some form of that, and take it away from the people who actually developed the plugin. Mm-hmm. However, the Pro plugin, which you always are downloading directly from their servers, has not been taken over by Automatic because it's not hosted on their servers. And I'm saying Automatic just to make it simple. I don't know who did what or why they did it. So, and this is all according to the email. There is a way for you to download the free plugin direct from the developers. And what they're saying is because the free plugin in the WordPress repository has been taken away from them, they can't vouch for the code, any code updates to come now from now going forward. So somewhat of a security concern in the sense that you just should be aware of the fact that the company that has been developing or the people that have been developing that plugin for all these years is no longer in control of the free code in the WordPress repository. I ain't got nothing else to say beyond that other than that's my interpretation of what they're trying to communicate. However, if you're a Pro plugin user, because your downloads were coming direct from them anyway with your license key, nothing's affecting you. And there is a way for you to get code directly from them if you are using the free plugin. So Google it or duck it or whatever to get more information and download that if you need it. It just kind of shocked me. I saw something about a takeover and I was like, oh, wait a minute. What's going on?
What's going on? For sure. So, well, on that note, do we want to wrap it up?
I think we can wrap it up. You can send us email feedback at technicallyworking.show. I'm on Mastodon right now, Damashe, Damashe at unmute.community. I don't think Mike has switched back. So, Mike, do they need to use new Mastodon or old Mastodon for you?
If they use old Mastodon, they'll get taken to new Mastodon. New Mastodon is payown, P-A-Y-O-W-N, at dragonscave.space, which sounds really weird, all ran together. So payown at dragonscave.space. But if you go to the old one, you'll get redirected. What was the old one?
It was PAYOWN at unmute.community.
And we'll see you on the 21st.